Lecture 25 Leaders Make Strategies, Not Decisions Part 1. This is the 25th lecture of the leadership course. From this lecture onwards, we will embark on a new leadership practice, deep thinking. Leadership is about mobilizing people to solve problems. Leaders face challenges and must discover solutions to these problems. To do so, leaders must engage in deep thinking. I will introduce 4 modes of deep thinking, starting with the first one, strategic thinking. What is strategic thinking? Simply put, it is about making strategies, not decisions. Many people think that strategy and decision-making are the same thing, but exceptional leaders know that they are completely different. A former executive from Alibaba wrote an article stating that Jack Ma makes a maximum of 4 decisions for Alibaba in a year. However, this executive failed to understand that there is a difference between making 4 decisions and making 4 strategies in a year, which is what Jack Ma does. 1. The difference between strategy and decision. Many people believe that there is no difference between decision-making and strategy, perhaps due to the influence of the English language. In English, the words decision and strategy are often used interchangeably. However, in Chinese, these 2 words have distinct meanings that can be felt intuitively. For example, you might say, I have made a decision to share my thoughts after listening to this lecture today. But you would not say, I have made a strategy to share my thoughts after listening to this lecture today. Your intuition tells you that this is a decision, not a strategy, even if you cannot articulate the difference between the 2. Let me clarify the difference between decision-making and strategy. A decision is a specific solution to a specific problem, while a strategy is a general solution to a common problem. In other words, when you make a decision, you are addressing a single problem. If your decision is effective, you can solve that problem with one action. However, when you develop a strategy, you are not just addressing one problem, but rather all similar problems. If your strategy is effective, you can solve many problems with one action. As you can see, there is a significant advantage to using a strategy instead of making a decision. The advantage is that the impact of a decision is temporary and individual, while the impact of a strategy is long-term and global. In other words, if you develop a strategy, you can save a lot of time and effort that would otherwise be spent making individual decisions. Therefore, a strategy is more efficient. However, there is an even greater advantage to using a strategy instead of making a decision. As I mentioned earlier, making a decision often does not truly solve the problem at hand. If you only make decisions, you may not be able to solve the problem at all. To truly solve a problem, you need to develop a strategy, not just make a decision. Therefore, exceptional leaders develop strategies instead of making decisions. Moreover, exceptional leaders only develop a few strategies. Why? Because one strategy can solve many problems, so you do not need to develop too many strategies. It may be an exaggeration to say that Jack Ma only develops 4 strategies per year, but it is true that exceptional leaders only develop a few strategies.